Thank you for coming. I'm Barry Glicklick, and I'm an instructor here at the People's Resource Center, and I'm here today to talk about Google Voice for Tech Talks. It's subtitled Using the Internet to Make Your Phone Better, and we're going to go through, I'm going to talk through some of the features, the capabilities. I'll be showing a bunch of videos that were put out by Google Voice to describe the features in a little more detail, and then the last section is a video which shows you how to set up a Google Voice account on your own. And so if you're prepared to do that, I'm prepared to help walk you through that. If you'd like, there's a couple of requirements that you'll have, and I'll talk about those as we go through. So just to provide some context, telephones, we're familiar with telephones. Landline phones can be expensive to have the monthly thing, expensive to move because you have to pay for installation charges or things that are useful, that they charge for moving your phone. They're only useful at home because they're tied to a specific location. And for many people, they find that most of the phone calls that they receive on their home line is just somebody calling up to sell them something or ask for something, and that they're not phone calls that they want. Another option is cell phones, which can also be expensive. They have some advantages. You can screen your calls and block them from unknown numbers and things like that. But if you disconnect it for a month, you have to get a new phone number, and that can be very disruptive for people. The Google Voice Internet Telephone is free, so that's always a good thing. It can forward to any phone. So if somebody calls a Google Voice phone number, you can say, send it to my landline and send it to my cell phone, and whichever one you answer will be the one that you get. And if neither one answers, it can go to voicemail at one or the other. It can take messages. You can use a computer that has internet access to be able to text to or from that Google Voice number. You can use your computer to call, which actually you're not going to be talking on the computer at that point, but it will place a call to your phone, and then your phone will be then connected to the person that you're calling. And so it'll look to them as if it was coming from your Google Voice number, but you'll be talking on your phone. You can receive text messages, and if your phone is out of service, you can still take messages. So that's one of the big advantages if you're in a situation where you're moving from one carrier to another or from one phone to another. If the phone number that everybody has is using the Google Voice number, you can have continuity of service with that without people realizing that there's a gap in a period of time where you didn't have a phone that was working. But it's not all good news. It does need an internet connection to set up. You'll need a Google account in order to establish the Google Voice account. So if you don't have a Gmail account, then that needs to be set up first. You will need an active phone number to confirm. So if you say, I just don't want to have a phone at all, I just want to use Google Voice, you can't do that. You need to at least have temporary use of a phone number that isn't being used by somebody else in order to confirm that, yes, that is really who you say you are. You can choose your phone number from a list of available numbers that they'll let you choose from, and there's loads of features, which I'll talk about. Some of the features on Google Voice, you can hide your actual phone number, so you can block it. So if you give people your Google Voice number and then have it forwarded to your phone, to your cell phone or your home phone, they won't see your actual phone number. And so people, in the first presentation I'm going to watch, they're recommending that if you're putting something out on the internet with a phone number, you would want to put out your Google Voice number, because then you can get all the features of screening and things like that without putting your private number out there on the web. It can do message transcription. So if you receive a voice, somebody calls you up and leaves a voicemail or sends you a text, well, I guess text is always doesn't need to be transcribed. But if somebody leaves you a voicemail, it can be sent to you either via text or via email, and it will transcribe it into English. It's not always perfect. can usually get the feel for what they're talking about, but sometimes there's words that are garbled, particularly if they're saying people's names that are not part of the common dictionary. That can be a little difficult to understand, but it's another capability. You can customize greetings, so for if you want to have co-workers who call you get one message, and family who calls you get another message, you can do that. You can use it to screen calls. You can use it to block some callers. As I mentioned, you can forward it to multiple phone numbers, and you can set that up for different times of day. So during the daytime, you may want it sent to your work number, and during the evening, sent to your home phone number. Or you could have it to your cell phone and those other combinations. You can set up multi-way phone calls, so you can set up if you want to talk to a brother and a sister that are in two different locations, you can use it to set up three-way or multi-way phone calls. And you can use it with Google Hangouts for if you have a Wi-Fi connection or a data connection, and you can get better integration with your cell phone that way. Okay, so then I'm going to have a slew of YouTube videos that I'm going to show, and then when we get to the last one, how to set up Google Voice, we'll go through that more slowly if people are interested at that point.
Over time, humans have continually come up with new ways to communicate. And while we've come pretty far, there are still some things that don't quite work the way they should. For instance, consider voicemail, which you can only listen to by calling one number on your phone. It is stuck in your voicemail system, and it deletes itself automatically after 2 weeks. Or, say you're trying to reach a friend with a mobile phone, work phone, and home phone. Right now, you might call each number one by one, trying to find the person. And after you finally leave a voicemail, the guy has to call the right voicemail box to find your message. So we asked, what if telephony were reinvented today? The result? Google Voice. Google Voice gives you lots of cool calling features, no matter what kind of phone you have or which carrier you use. For instance, if someone calls your Google Voice number, you can have it ring all your phones, or none of your phones, depending on the time of day or the person calling. And if you let it go to voicemail, you can listen in before answering. Or just wait and read a transcript of the message. And maybe send a text message reply for free. And if you have an unwanted caller, it's easy to block them. The list of features goes on and keeps growing. Point being, in short, less annoyances and more awesomeness. For free. So give it a shot. Visit google.com/voice. With Google Voice, voicemail messages are automatically transcribed to text, so you can actually read messages in addition to listening to them.
Hi, honey. Are you eating healthy?
This is useful in a lot of situations, like if you're at the movies, in a meeting, or somewhere noisy. It's also useful if someone leaves you a message with a piece of information you later need to find. You can easily search through past voicemails, just as you do email, to find it. You don't need to do anything to get started. Transcriptions will just appear in your account and will be forwarded to your email. Transcriptions aren't perfect, but we hope they're good enough to save you from listening to the message, and we're continually working on improving them. If you choose to get a Google Voice phone number in the sign-up process, then you'll experience the benefit of one number for all your phones. This means that you'll choose a new number and have the option to choose a specific area code or even look for numbers that spell out words. Then, when someone calls that number, it will ring all of your phones at the same time. Or, if you prefer, you can customize your account to ring certain phones based on who's calling or the time of day. And if you ever move, change your carrier, or get a new phone, your Google number will stay the same. Google Voice allows you to have different voicemail greetings based on who is calling. This is useful, for example, if you want one message for work.
You've reached the cell phone of Jason Toss. Please leave a message.
And another message for friends.
Hey, sorry I missed you. Leave a message.
To set up a personalized greeting for someone, go to that contact and select Edit Google Voice Settings. Choose a greeting you've already recorded or Select Record New Greeting, and Google Voice will call your cell phone so you can record the greeting.
Start recording your greeting after the tone. When you are finished, press pound.
If you want to set up a personalized greeting for a group, just go to Settings, Groups, and click Edit, then choose your greeting. Google Voice allows you to place international calls for low rates, often for just pennies per minute. You can initiate a call from within your Google Voice inbox. To start, click the Call button in the top left corner of your account and enter a contact's name or phone number. Once you press Connect, Google Voice will ring your phone to initiate the call. When you answer, Google Voice will then connect you to the number you're calling. To see your balance, add credit, and view calling rates, check out the box on the left side of your account. You can also make international calls by calling your Google Voice number.
Please enter the phone number you would like to dial, followed by the pound key.
And if you're on an Android-powered phone with the Google Voice app installed, you can make international calls from your phone's native dialer. If you have an account with a Google number, text messages sent to that number will appear on your phone and in your Google Voice account. Additionally, you can configure your account so that copies of those text messages are sent to you via email. With Google Voice, you can reply directly to those emails and continue your text messaging conversation for free. Google Voice will convert your emails back to SMS and send them to the recipient on his or her phone. To turn this feature on, go to the Settings menu, click Voicemail and SMS, and make sure the box is checked that says SMS forwarding.
You can share voicemail in a couple ways. Forward a voicemail via email to a friend. Save a copy to your computer. Or embed a voicemail in a website or blog. With embedding, once you copy and paste, the voicemail can be easily played by anyone visiting the site.
Dude, make sure you share this voicemail with everybody.
So I have a question. If somebody has a prepaid phone and they run out of minutes before the end of the month or whatever, they still can get their messages if they have set up a Google account?
Yeah, if they set up a Google account and they gave people the phone number for the Google account, then when they've got their phone active, they can say forward calls to my phone, and then if it gets inactive, the phone's not active, so they won't forward there. It would just go to Google Voice would answer its voice message. So people could leave a message with it, and then they could retrieve it from their computer.
Can somebody receiving your message copy it on their Google account and then send it out to everybody?
They could.
So anything that you say over Google, somebody could transmit it to everybody?
Yes, and anything you leave on somebody's answering machine at home, they could, put a digital recorder and they could put that on the internet. There's nothing particular that, once you say something in somebody else's presence, they could do that. They make it easier, particularly if, it's, for most people, it would be easy to forward it to somebody else. To post it on a web page, they would have to have a web page that they wanted to post it on, that they had access to write to it, too. So it makes it a little easier, but if somebody wanted to do that, they would have that ability. With if you send an email or copying an email or text is just it would be just as easy to post anywhere. With voicemail messages, you'd have to record it onto something and then post it. But it's
You could take it in as a text message and then transmit that.
Yes.
Without having to record the voice.
Can you forward from your cell phone to the Google Voice, so like I could set up forwarding, or if I knew my minutes were expiring or something like that, but I hadn't given out my Google Voice number.
I am not sure. It may depend on whether your carrier provides the ability to forward your numbers. The other option is, you can port your number to Google Voice. So you could take your cell phone number and instead of having it be provided by your carrier, have it be provided by Google Voice. Now your carrier would still need a phone number, but then you could make the number that everybody has be your main. You could change that to become your Google Voice number. And my daughter did that, so that she had a cell phone, and then she had her number ported to Google Voice, so everything goes through Google Voice now. And very, very, very few people have the actual number that rings her phone, because when people call it, she may get it on her computer, she may get it on her tablet, she may get it on her phone.
How do you do the prepaid thing? Is that just like PayPal?
Yeah, in terms of adding credit to your account. I think when you set it up, a Google Voice account, you get like 10 cents on your account. Yay! Okay. And then if you want to add money to it, I think you can either, probably PayPal or credit card.
Okay.
So.
How much does it cost?
It's free for the service. If you want to do international calls, then or I guess even local calls. I think local calls would be included, but for international calls, you need money in your account in order to be able to do the magic that they talked about with international calls. That they'll call the number or they'll call your number, and they'll call that number, and then they'll hook you up together. So it's sort of like using Skype for international calls, and Skype has a very similar thing. You have to pay money for making phone calls to actual landline phones or cell phones, but it's much lower rate than what you'd pay your typical phone company. Next topic.
When the spam setting is not enough, you can choose to block really annoying callers. This will let them know their call is not welcomed.
We're sorry, you have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service.
So not to say if you had bill collectors or anything calling you that you would want to do that, but if you are getting harassed by somebody, you can, instead of just sending it off to blocked call, which is what I think the spam one would do, you can give them the message that it's been disconnected.
Google Voice can screen anyone whose phone isn't in your address book by asking for and recording their name the first time they call. In your settings, the Enable Screening option is checked by default. You can choose between screening all unknown callers or only blocked callers. Blocked callers are people who have set up their phone not to show their caller ID. If you prefer to disable call screening, unknown callers will never be asked for their name and will be announced to you as unknown caller.
So on that one, they would call your Google Voice number. They would get a message say, please state your name, and then you record your name. It would then, the system would then call you and say, you got a call from this person. Do you want to accept it or not? And then you have the option. So that's how the call screening works.
The Google Voice mobile app gives your phone advanced calling and voicemail functionality. With the app, you can visually navigate between voicemails and read the automatic transcriptions Google Voice provides.
Hi, Jason. It's Kenneth. Give me a call back.
If you have a Google phone number, calls made from the Google Voice app will display that number as the outbound caller ID. Additionally, you can send SMS text messages using the app without charges from your carrier. The Google Voice mobile app is free and currently available for BlackBerry, iPhone, and Android-powered phones.
If you are on a call through your Google number and a new call comes in on call waiting, you can switch to that call from
Brian.
To add this caller to your current call, press 5. And join the new caller into the original call.
Everyone there?
I'm here.
Me too.
With Google Voice, your phone number is more than just 10 digits. It's the main hub of your telephone communications. You can choose a new free phone number from Google, or with number porting, you can bring your existing mobile phone number and Google Voice together. This means you get all the benefits of Google Voice without having to give your friends and contacts a new number to reach you at. To get started, we'll contact your carrier and let them know that you'll be porting your number to Google Voice. Your service will be canceled when porting is complete. In order to make and receive calls on your mobile phone, you'll need to get a new service plan and number so that your carrier can continue to provide you with phone service. Then add this new number to your Google Voice account as a forwarding phone. So now when people call your existing phone number, it will ring your mobile phone and all your other phones. And you'll be able to take advantage of all the great features Google Voice has to offer, like voicemail transcriptions, call screening, customized greetings, and free text messages. To get started, visit google.com/voice.
Okay, so then the last video is setting up the Google Voice account.
Hey guys, Julie here. I'm just shooting a quick video to show you how to set up your free Google Voice account. And the reason why I highly recommend that you get a Google Voice phone number is for those people who are really apprehensive and absolutely do not want to post their personal cell phone or their home number on any type of advertising that they do, or in any of their emails that they send out, or on any of their websites. You can use this to actually screen phone calls. So when somebody calls your Google Voice number, they're actually prompted to just enter or to say their name. And then when it calls you, your phone actually starts ringing. When you answer that phone, it actually tells you who's calling, and you can either answer it or send it to voicemail. So it's great for screening calls. You can also get a transcript of the actual voicemail emailed to you as well, so you can set that up. You can also have text messages sent to you, so if somebody texts this phone number, your Google Voice phone number, it can actually send it either to your phone as a text message, or it'll email you saying that you received a text on your Google Voice number. So it's really great. I mean, it's pretty much like having, just a work line that is, very versatile. So I definitely think that everybody should set up a free account, and it's very simple to do. So we're going to walk through it really quick. Now, when you go to do your Google Voice, you do need a Google account. So if you have a Gmail account, you're good. And you'll just need to sign into it. So right now I'm on the Google homepage. And to get to Google Voice, you can do one of two ways. You can either go directly to the website, which is just google.com/voice, or you could actually just go to Google and type in Google Voice, and it'll give you the website. So either way. Now you just want to go ahead and sign in to use it. So like I said, we're going to sign in through my Gmail. All right. Okay, so when you sign in, this is the very first screen you're going to see. Of course, there's nothing in here because you have not set up a voice number yet. And when you do set it up and you start receiving phone calls, you'll see all kinds of information from received calls, missed calls, voicemails. That will all be in this section right over here. But this is what it'll look like when you first start out. So as soon as you get into here, you're going to want to go ahead and click on Get a Voice Number. And you're going to click I want a new number. You're not going to use your mobile number because the whole purpose of this, for the reason why I'm training you on it, is because I want you guys to have your own separate phone number that's not your personal number, so that way you don't have to worry about people having that personal information. Okay, sorry. So you're going to add a forwarding phone. You do need an active phone number that you are going to put in here. you're going to add more later if you would like. So you do need to go ahead and put in either a cell phone number or a home number that Google's actually going to call you, and then they're going to give you an activation code. So we're going to do that real quick. This is my mobile number. Okay. All right, so when they do this, you're going to want to have Google call you. So it's actually going to be calling you right now. Okay, great. So now that that's activated, Google goes, they'll give you a phone call, and then as soon as you answer, it's actually going to say, hey, just enter in the activation code, which was the 71 that we saw previously. And then you're going to actually choose a number for your phone, which is really cool because you can actually, customize it a little bit. So what you want to look for is, go ahead and look for either your area code. So maybe you're in like 612 or 540 was mine, or a zip code. So if you want to look for the zip code that you're in. So I'm just going to search 540 because that's currently my phone number anyway. So let's go ahead and get another 540 number. And you'll go ahead and hit search numbers, and then all the numbers pop up. And it just tells you the location of where this number is coming from. Like these are used in the Christiansburg, Virginia area. And don't worry about that. It's not that important. Just, pick a number that you like, honestly. So you can go through and scroll through a couple different pages and come across one that you prefer. So these are all like 254 numbers. So let's just click 2540497. And then you just click continue, and it's going to go ahead and add that number to your account. So now it says, hey, here's your phone number. Remember it. It'll actually show up on the left-hand side of your screen. So that's great. So that way you don't have to, constantly try to figure out what your number is. If you don't, you just log into your account and it shows right there. All right, so we're going to finish. And then you now have your own personal Google Voice phone number. Like I said, it shows up right down here. It's going to be, that's your number. Like I said, all this now is for your incoming calls and such. You do have a new voicemail. So Google automatically sends you a voicemail saying, hey, congratulations, welcome to Google Voice. You can actually block calls and stuff like that. These are all the settings. So you can actually go in and customize some stuff under settings. We're just going to click no thanks right now. So inbox, so Google Voice, just click on it. And the nice thing about this is when somebody does leave you a voicemail, Google will automatically turn it into a transcript for you. So, sometimes it's understandable and sometimes it's not, depending on how fast or if somebody has an accent. But you can get the gist of what's going on, and then you can actually listen to it as well. Now, these will all be forwarded to my phone number. So let's see if we click on your number. Here we go. This is what I'm saying. It's going to forward it to my email. So anytime I get a phone call, it'll show that I either missed a phone call or had a phone call. That's just kind of, just a reminder. You can disable that if you would like. And it's also going to forward to my mobile number, and it's got it right there. And then I can receive text messages on my phone or notify me of new voicemails via text. If you don't have unlimited text messaging on your cell phone, I would suggest not doing this. I don't leave these checked. I leave them unchecked for me personally because it's just going to go ahead and send it to my email anyway, and I'm going to get notified. Now you can also add another phone here. So if you want to add like maybe a home phone number as well, so that way it'll ring all of your numbers simultaneously when you have a phone call, you can do that. You just go ahead and add another phone number and walk through that process again. Google Contacts, you can of course edit your contacts, add contacts, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of great features in here, so just get in there and kind of play around with it. But really, I just want to make sure everybody gets this set up, and then you can start using this phone number immediately. And you can customize your voicemail, what people hear when they call you, when they go to your voicemail and such, instead of just hearing the basic, you've reached 540-2540-497. You can actually just customize a voicemail just like you would on a cell phone. It has very much the same features. So I hope you guys found this useful. Go ahead and get yours set up today, and then go ahead and put that number on any stuff that you have where you have to enter in your personal phone number. Make sure that you use your Google Voice number. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, so that's Google Voice.
So how would you decide between getting a new number or using your existing number? What do you see as like the...
So if you have, 1,000 people who already have your old number, and you don't want to have to tell them all about it and expect them to get it right, then you're probably better off porting your number to Google Voice if you wanted to go that way. If you're going to start using a phone number for a different thing, like you're starting a business, and you say, oh, well, I'd like to have a business phone number that forwards to my phone, but that isn't my personal phone number, then I would just get a Google Voice number and then set that up to do what you want. So yeah, those are sort of the two extreme cases. Or if you just want to play with it, you can set up the Google Voice and then give it to some people. If there's like if you want business calls, people who call to sell you things, that you can always give them that as your phone number, and then just have that go to voicemail, and you'll get an email about it, but not have it ring your phone, because you don't have to do that. And that's another good option for it.
Is it just as easy to cancel? Can you cancel or want to cancel?
I presume it is. It's relatively easy to cancel it. I have not canceled it, but yeah, it's sort of like if you have a Gmail account that you're not using. Well, it's like, okay, so if you're not using it anymore, you can just stop using it, and you don't see anything that comes to it, and it's whether it's canceled or not, it doesn't make a difference to you because you're not seeing it anymore. Okay, well, I hope you found this helpful.
Thank you.
If you have any